Ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in generating solar leads at scale and in the most effortless way possible, I can guarantee you this is going to be the most valuable video you'll ever going to watch. Because in the following 21 pages, I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough to generate thousands of leads without having to lift a finger. I'm going to show you what's working and how to implement it. And I'm also going to give you all the mistakes to avoid, which I guarantee is going to save you tens of thousands of dollars. But first of all, you might be asking yourself, who is this guy and why should I be listening to him? So let me introduce myself real quick. My name is Andreas, the CEO of Python Marketing. We're a company that specializes in helping solar pros, just like yourself, to step away from the daily grind of client acquisition by implementing streamlined, automated systems that bring those clients to you 24/7. We've worked in 3 separate countries, delivering leads all the way from commercial, hotels, manufacturing chains, any business that you can think of, all the way to generating tens of thousands of homeowner leads in every single market you can think of, from metropolitan cities to super small towns. We've helped clients all the way from individual closers like Hector, who closes 70% of all leads that he generates online. He sells from his home in Texas into 21 different states, thanks to the power of automation. We've helped all the way to larger teams that are closing over $30 million per year to streamline every single aspect of their sales process to ensure that we're scaling in the most effortless way possible. So let's get right into it. As I said, in this document, I'm going to give you a complete walkthrough of why the traditional lead generation channels are broken. So you can think of door knocking, cold calling, waiting for referrals, all that stuff, which we know is outdated. After that, I'm going to give you a review of every single acquisition channel that you have at your disposal today, all the pros and cons that you can think of, and which one is best for you. Also, the most common mistakes that will guarantee you save tens of thousands of dollars, saving you from investing in strategies that are sure to burn your money at a massive scale. After that, I'm going to show you how AI can turn all of those leads into appointments. Because we both know you don't want leads, you want sales at the end of the day. And if you can't convert the leads that are coming in 24/7 into appointments, then it's going to be useless. It doesn't matter if you generate 10,000 leads. If you only schedule a couple in for appointments, you'll most likely be wasting money unless you have an AI agent that books them 24/7 without you having to lift so much as a finger. And most importantly, how to take action on everything that you learned today to actually start getting leads. If at any point anything of what I say sounds interesting, you can always book a call with me or my team to help you out in automating your entire sales process by clicking the first link in the description below. So let's get right into it. The traditional lead generation channels are completely broken because homeowners respond differently today thanks to technology, thanks to social media, to search engines. It's no longer about being the first one to reach a home and telling them about solar. The game has changed and most solar pros are stuck in outdated acquisition methods that guarantee mediocre results. Sure, you can get a couple sales here and there from door knocking, but are you ever going to truly scale past 20 sales per month? It's going to be a bit tough. And even then, scaling past a couple sales per month is already difficult because today's homeowners have infinite options on the market. They can search on Google Solar and they're going to have infinite options with complete control over who they decide to call. The sales process no longer follows just a linear fashion where it was who is the best one, who has the best deal, and who do I like best. If we have that in mind that they have infinite options at any time and they can decide who to call 24/7, we reach the conclusion that traditional lead gen is not just ineffective today, but is actually harmful to your business and how many closes you can make in 1 month. Because if you're trying to slam your offer in front of people's faces, you're going against the process of how people buy nowadays. As we said, door knocking, it was once the backbone of solar sales, but it's increasingly viewed as an intrusion. Most people are going to tell you that if they could snap their fingers and never have another door knocker at their house again, they would absolutely do it. And cold calling is pretty much the same. Everybody screens calls, is on the do not call list, blocks unknown numbers, and if a call ever goes through, they're pretty much going to be mad and ask you how you got their information. It's to the point where even the government is aware of the issue and will soon ban cold calling. So if that's not a big and clear sign that these channels are becoming every day more outdated, then I'm not sure what is, because as we said, these channels are not just ineffective, they're becoming problematic. Trying to implement the same method as 5 years ago just creates active resistance, and when the homeowner feels pressured, they'll just develop a negative association with solar itself. It doesn't matter if you have a different pitch. If you came to door knock to the same house, you're pretty much going to get the same results. And once again, it goes deeper than just ineffectiveness with how many people you can speak to in a day, because these approaches fundamentally misunderstand today's buying psychology. Consumers want to be informed, consumers want to feel educated and empowered whenever they want to make especially a big decision like a $20,000 loan for solar. So expecting to go out and door knock to get results at scale is not the best method anymore. With most solar purchases coming from online nowadays, at least the initial research, we gotta position ourselves where the attention is going. If people are going online to research about solar, we gotta be online. If they were looking offline like in newspapers, then okay, position yourself there. But the reality is everybody is in their phones nowadays. And if we keep on hammering the misalignment of trying to get people through sheer pressure of constantly trying to speak with them, even though they're not interested and they didn't request information, it's gonna just create a lose-lose scenario where your sales team is gonna face constant rejection while the homeowners are just getting negative impressions, not just from you, but the entire solar industry. And the companies and sales reps that recognize this shift in attention and adapt their approach are thriving today, while those that try to cling on to those methods that worked 5 years ago are struggling to keep up their sales year after year. How many of them do you know have been on a steady decline of sales, where 3 years ago they were thriving with 20 sales a month, but a year later their sales decreased and so on and so forth. Today they're closing like 5 deals per month. You can just think about the amount of people who are in that situation today. In 2025, there's a lead generation renaissance where everything that has been building up in previous years is going to reach an all-time high. So people requesting information through the internet is going to go only up, where interest generated through one-to-one mediums like door knocking and cold calling is just going to go down and down. The good thing is that with recent advances in AI and automation, generating homeowner leads and getting them into appointments is easier than ever, with an even more effective process than it was last year or any other year for that matter. So let's get into it. Imagine your dream sales process. Do you really picture yourself with a dream sales process where you have to go out under the sun to door knock or cold call all day, manage people, actually be there to generate leads? Or would you have a completely automated system that could work for you even when you're on vacation? I'd imagine if you could snap your fingers and choose, you would choose any day of the week the automated version. It sounds 10 times more appealing because once again, with traditional lead generation methods, the time invested equals the amount of leads that you're going to get. So if you go out and door knock for 1 hour, you're most likely going to get 2 to 3 people interested maybe. But if we select an acquisition method that isn't tied to your time, where you could invest just 1 hour and get 20 leads, not just today, but every single day of the week for the rest of the month, for the rest of the year, which one would you really choose? Of course, the automated one. So here's the thing. There's only 2 ways to generate leads. You either trade your time to generate them or you trade your money. It's as simple as that. There's no other way. If you trade your time, it's going to involve, as we said, cold calling, door knocking, or going to events. It's not going to cost you anything out of pocket. It just costs your most important resource at your disposal, which is time. Even if you had a lot of success with acquisition methods that are tied to your time, you'll always be capped. If you want more sales, you either work more or you hire more people and deal with managing them constantly. This harsh realization that you can't step away from your business without the lead flow completely stopping has made smart sales reps look for more effective alternatives. They realize that in order to scale in the most effortless and lean manner, you can't follow the strategy that has 99% of sales reps selling just a couple deals per month while working overtime. Instead of trading your time for money in a linear fashion, you can create systems that are going to bring that cash day in and day out without you actually needing to physically be there. If you want to have a business that has the capability of scaling without being tied to it, we must look into acquisition channels that have the power to not just reach one person, but an entire city. Traditionally, these channels would have been billboards, newspapers, and you just put them out once and an entire city can look at them. Even though they're extremely expensive and limited by their effectiveness, since there's a high barrier from the moment someone sees it, like let's just say that someone's driving on the road, they see the billboard. No one is going to say, let me pull over to call that phone number, or let me pull it up right now and call them right away. It's not going to happen. But at the end of the day, you're reaching thousands of people. So that's one option. So if we ultimately want the best channel and not just the cheapest one, we're always going to find our way back to social media because they allow us to scale aggressively. If you post one video that goes viral, all of a sudden you didn't reach just a couple of people. You reached thousands or even millions. As we said previously, everybody is already on their phone. And since it's very easy for someone to take action on social media, if they see the right proposal, they can take action in just a couple seconds. It's literally just a click away. And the best thing about the process is that once you've cracked the code, scaling this system is as simple as reaching more people, which basically just means spending more money to reach those people. So once you're getting a positive return of investment, the more you spend, the more you'll make. It's literally the closest thing to printing money out of thin air. And of course, it sounds simple on paper. Create a nice ad that speaks to homeowners. They'll send their information and they'll be waiting for you to close the deal. It sounds simple, but getting the process dialed in is not easy. But don't worry, we'll take a look exactly how to do that in the following sections. Some common concerns that I hear a lot from solar pros with online ads are, if everybody sees the ad, won't I get all sorts of unqualified people? And that is a completely valid concern, and you're absolutely right if you implement the wrong funnel. If we want to secure only qualified leads, we must implement a form that I'm going to show you in a little bit, but it basically disqualified leads the second they select an option that indicates they're not qualified. So for example, if you ask them if they're a homeowner and they click on no, they're instantly taken out of the sales process. You never get their info and you're not spending time and money on these people that are at the end of the day just going to waste your time. The second one is how broad or how narrow can I go with the targeting with the ads? And you can literally go as broad as the entire country or even the whole world if you wanted to, or as narrow as a zip code. Since we're paying Facebook and Instagram to show our posts to people in that area, we truly have the capability of just going after the people we truly want to reach in the area that we want to reach. And finally, do I have to show up on the ads like creating videos? And that's not really my thing. And to that, I said, don't worry, because faceless ads with voiceovers have proven to be just as effective as ads with people in them. So do not worry once again. With that being said, we already know that generating leads online is going to be the best option for us. Now I'm going to show you a couple of mistakes that if you make them, I can guarantee your wallet is going to look like this. So let's get into it. The first one is going to be buying leads or appointments. Because the promise of easy leads of a company just like mine saying, hey, I'm going to give you 30 leads. You don't have to lift a finger. You don't have to mess with online ads is too good for most people. And to give you a behind the scenes look at how these companies work and kind of their business model, I'm going to break it down and tell you why it's the worst idea of all time. So let me give you a behind the scenes look at how these companies work, because I could personally implement this business model today if I wanted to. They implement what I call the cash grab model, which is basically to generate leads at the lowest cost as possible. And number two, sell it as high as possible to you and to the most amount of people possible. As we all know, not all leads are created equal, and to get the cheapest leads, you must offer too good to be true promises. For example, an ad that guarantees a free installation from the government talks about how they're never going to pay a single penny and makes the rest of the promises that we're all familiar with will always get cheaper leads than a real ad that gives you an accurate expectation of what they're actually going to get. This way, these companies generate tons of volume upfront for a really low cost, but the entire backend, the sales process, will become impossible for you since the people who opt in most likely won't answer, won't have any idea what you're talking about, and will simply not know what even it is that they opted into. You'll think that the company is doing a real good job for the first couple of days since you're getting a ton of leads without doing pretty much anything until you realize that none of them will ever close. And don't get me started if they're reselling those leads to multiple people. You can imagine just how annoyed the homeowner that opted into one ad is going to be when they receive 10 different calls from different people trying to get in touch with them desperately. The second method to burn your hard-earned money is trying to generate your own leads if you're not an experienced digital marketer. If you don't have the right ad with the right backend process, it's incredibly easy to burn through your entire budget with nothing to show for. It just takes 2 clicks to spend $200 a day. And if you have the wrong ad, those $1,000 that you spent over 5 days, completely gone. You didn't generate leads. The people that saw the ad weren't interested. Everything vanishes at the end of the day with nothing to show for. If you tried generating leads online in the past with little success, you've probably either run your own ads or had somebody who had no idea what they were doing run them for you. Generating leads online is a very straightforward process. It's simple without being easy. The only easy part is burning your money if you don't know what you're doing. But once you crack the code, you'll wish you had done so years ago. So don't make those 2 mistakes, because if you do, say bye-bye to your wallet. We'll take a look at the specifics for running the ads in a little bit, but let's say that we're already generating the leads. What now? Are we going to actually call them whenever they opt in at night? Or are we going to spend our whole day chasing those leads? And to that, I say we implement AI assistants, which once again are going to replace every form of appointment setter, door knocking, cold callers, and traditional call centers. Once again, if somebody opts into your ads, you're going to have a phone number, an email, and their name. You traditionally have to call them to secure the appointment, and if you don't do so within the first 5 minutes of them opting in, the odds of booking that lead go down by 80%. And since most people, you can imagine, opt in whenever it's late at night, they're just scrolling whenever they have free time. We don't really want to be in that situation where we gotta call leads at 11 at night, because if not, we're just wasting the money that we're already spending generating those leads. So that's why we gotta automate this process. But thanks to the recent advances with AI, we now have the power to set up a personalized AI assistant that will be programmed to get in touch with leads as soon as they opt in via phone call, qualify those leads, and book them in for appointments directly. Whenever you book a call with us, we can test it out live. If you haven't tested out an AI assistant in the past, I can guarantee you it's going to be a life-changing experience. So get that call booked in. If it's too late to call, or they don't answer, an SMS assistant, which is the same thing as the calling assistant, but through SMS, of course, is vital. It has the same job of getting in touch with the leads instantly, qualifying them, and booking the appointments in real time. It checks real-time availability, and it just schedules the appointment as soon as the lead asks for it. This way, you can rest easy knowing that every penny that you invest into generating leads is being maximized with automated appointment setting. You're not trusting that your call center is going to do a good job qualifying them, picking up right away. And if they're not doing their job right, you got to train people. Instead, just set up your AI assistant once and have that automated forever. Save on the salary of a regular appointment setter, save time training and managing, and decrease variability on the quality of each set appointment to actually ensure show up. This way you can focus on showing up to the appointments and just closing, as opposed to wasting time desperately trying to generate interest via door knocking. And of course, if you decide to delegate the closing, you'll have a completely automated sales process on your hands. Now, the most important point of the whole video: how do I start getting results today? Because if you've watched this far, I can guess 2 things about you. 1, you want to scale far beyond just a few sales per month, and you know that the best way to achieve it is through generating leads online, specifically through social media. There's no question about that. So to actually implement the strategies and start getting results today, you must make the key decision. Who will implement the strategy for me? Because understand that it's not the platform itself which is going to deliver results just for using it. It's the method in which you apply the strategy that will dictate the results. What I mean by that is that depending on the quality of your ad and the quality of your funnel, it's going to dictate how many sales you close out of your strategy. So for example, if you and your competition both pay $30 to reach 1,000 people, but your ad is way superior to theirs, with those $30 that you spent, you can generate 2 leads as opposed to your competition who set up a mediocre ad and their sales process is not dialed in. Those $30 that they spent won't generate a single lead. So understand that the single most important decision you can make is not whether or not to run ads online, but who will actually run them. So your 3 options are going to be to do them yourself, have an internal team member, or an external agency. Let's get into the pros and cons of each. If you run your ads yourself, you'll learn how to generate clients on command without lifting a finger, which is one of the most valuable skills you can have in 2025 onwards. Number 2 is that since you have complete control over the whole process, ideally, if you understand analytics, you're gonna know exactly why you're getting the results that you're getting or why you're not getting nothing. You know what's going on from top to bottom. The cons are that it takes a long while to actually start seeing results if you have no idea what you're doing. It takes a while to actually get a return of investment until everything just clicks from one day to the next. But you're going to be spending money every single month until everything makes sense and you start closing those deals, in which case you recoup all the losses that you had in the previous months. And the last one is that it's very easy to feel lost. If you don't understand why you're not getting results, if you don't understand why leads are not qualified, why they're not going into appointments, it's very easy to want to give up because since you don't know what you're doing at the end of the day, it's most likely not going to make sense to keep going. Number 2 is going to be an internal team member, which once again, you have full control of the process. You don't have to do any work, but if they're not generating the results and you don't know what's going on, neither will they. So you're going to be stuck in a limbo where nobody knows what they're doing. And that's not an ideal situation, to put it that way. Number 2 is that they really got to be trained and have a very good idea of what they're doing, since it's very industry specific. You can't just hire somebody that did marketing in the past to do it for solar, since every single niche has its intricacies. So if someone ran ads for roofing or maybe for e-commerce, it's going to be a completely different ballgame. And you got to have that at the top of your mind. And finally, an external agency. The pros are that they have experience from other solar ads in the past, tons of data from all those previous clients to deliver results pretty quickly. And also you don't have to do anything. The con, and it's only one since it's a massive one, is that it's very easy to choose the wrong agency. And maybe they have, number 2, internal team member where they don't know what they're doing. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so you don't get any results. So picking the right agency is key. If you don't pick the right one, it's going to be a disaster, since you won't know why there's no results and they won't either. Do your research if you want to work with an internal agency. Of course, we're the best, but still do your research. Regardless of who will run the actual ads, make sure to implement this sales funnel to guarantee results. Number 1, obviously, it's going to be through Facebook and Instagram. There's 2 billion users. You just have to have a good ad. The actual targeting is not too complex. So these are the best platforms regardless. Number 2, we're going to generate leads inside the platforms. If you're sending leads to a website, to a landing page, you're already burning half your budget or even more trying to optimize 2 things at the same time, the landing page plus the ads. So we want to keep everything inside of the platforms. On the ad set, we don't want to do any fancy targeting. We just want to target the area that you're located in. That's it. On the ad side of things, we're going to create at least 5 different videos to test out and see which ones perform and which ones don't. That's the key thing on the whole campaign, testing out different ads. with the right hooks, with the right call to actions, with the right length. Everything is done on the ads. Don't get tricked into all the fancy settings on the actual targeting. So once again, minimum 5 different video ads to test out which will work. And on the forms, you're going to select conditional logic and select any qualifying questions that you want. So for example, if they own their home, if they're paying $130 on their electric bill, whatever you want, just add them all in to make sure that whoever is clicking is actually qualified, and whoever clicks on no, we don't own our home, is going to be instantly disqualified. For the ad optimizing, just turn off all the ads that are not generating leads for around $20 to $30 and just create more ads until you're getting leads for $20 to $30 maximum. We have created campaigns where it took us 15, 20, 30 different ads to actually get one ad that was a winner. That's why it's very important to have the right ads. And that's what's going to take the majority of your time if you're the one creating the ads, or of the agency's time. Of whoever is running the ads, that's the bulk of the work. After that, just run the campaign, see which one works, and once the leads are coming in, let it run. Middle of funnel, in the appointment setting. If you don't have the AI agents that take care of the appointment setting process, make sure you're being diligent with any single lead that comes in, because speed is key. Once again, you don't want to wait over 5 minutes to get in touch with these people. Call them to qualify and sell the appointment, not so much solar. Don't explain too much, just sell the appointment, how you can help deliver the final outcome, which is reducing their electric bill. Get that appointment booked in, we're good to go. Bottom of funnel, just close yourself or delegate. I think that's the part where you don't have any single issues. So up to this point, you should have leads coming in, appointments being set 24/7, and you just pretty much have to show to the appointments, reschedule people that didn't show, or if they didn't answer the AI, you just call them yourself. And once you have this process up and running, you can just crank the ad spend, reach more people to get more leads. Since the rest of the sales funnel is pretty much automated, you just crank with as much budget as you can give it as soon as you know that the system is proven and it works for you specifically. So that's literally everything that you need to know. What to do, what not to do, what platforms, what mistakes to avoid. Once again, this is not an easy process, but it's a very straightforward one. Make ads, show them to the right person, make them click, book an appointment, close. Simple enough. If any of this still sounds like it's too much, or you just don't want anything to do with anything online, just no clicking on ads, no doing nothing, I'm going to show you our offer real quick. So to automate your sales process, we'll build a lead generation powerhouse, which will deliver your ideal quantity and quality of leads through industry-leading ads and a streamlined qualification funnel that targets perfect clients in any area that you want to work in. It doesn't matter if you're selling virtual, if you're selling in person, we are going to get those leads for you quite easily. Number 2, we'll implement your own AI assistant that will take care of the appointment setting so you can rest easy knowing that each lead that comes in is taken care of appropriately. And finally, we'll help you scale by solving any single bottleneck you might face throughout the whole process to help you get to that point where you're generating leads 24/7. Those leads are being booked into appointments and you just turn the tap as much as you want. If you want to keep a lean operation, that's fine. If you want to scale with a whole sales team, you have the system because it's yours. We're not keeping anything behind the curtain. So if anything of what I just said sounds interesting to you, click below to schedule a quick consulting call where we'll walk you through the entire process specifically for you, solve any questions that might come up, and if it makes sense for you, we'll help you out. As I said, if you're serious about automating your sales process and future-proofing your business, this is going to be for you. Because every year that you stall implementing an online system, sales are going to go down. It's going to get harder and harder to generate leads with the traditional acquisition channels. Once again, thanks for watching the ultimate guide to generate solar leads in 2025. You do not need a single more video. Either take action yourself, contact us, whatever you want to do, but implement what you just saw in this video or be left behind. With that being said, my name is Andres. Thank you very much for watching the video, and I'll see you on the next one.